Rosh Hashanah is one of the most important holidays for Jewish people around the world. It starts tonight at sundown. The name Rosh Hashanah means the head of the year, and the holiday marks the start of the Jewish New Year. Joining us once again for more on all of this is Rabbi Yaakov Menken. Rabbi Menken, good to see you again. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for having me back.
Pleasure to have you on. So Rosh Hashanah opens a period of what they call intense retrospection that leads up to the moment of atonement. Why is this holiday so important?
Well, it's really the culmination in a lot of ways of the entire Jewish calendar, building up Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, in many ways the most important time on the Jewish calendar, because it's the time when God reviews our behavior, the behavior of every person in the world, and we have an opportunity to correct ourselves and bring ourselves into the Day of Atonement ready to do better in the coming year.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's on the dinner table? I'm a Catholic, so I'm not, I have many Jewish friends, but this always sounds like if you're going to be part of a Jewish holiday, this is the one you want to take part in around supper time. So apples and honey, right? Round challah, those are must-haves, but it's a meal designed so we can have a sweet start to the new year. Is that accurate?
Very much so. The round challah is about the cycle and about bringing ourselves back to the beginning. Starting over again, getting a fresh start on things. The apple and honey is all about the sweet year. There are many other symbolic foods that people eat that we should be. People will eat the head of a fish and say we should be the head and not the tail.
I like that. The shofar is another unique part of the occasion. What's so symbolic about the ram's horn and its addition to this ceremony?
There are many elements of the ram's horn. It duplicates the sound of a person crying. That's one thing. It's also a call, like a trumpet, to repentance, to come and listen to God and improve ourselves. All of these things are built into the sound of the shofar.
Rabbi, I did want to talk about politics with you for a moment this morning. I understand that you were on the phone with former President Donald Trump and his religious advisors talking about launching a new national faith advisory board. You were on this call, which I believe took place on Thursday. What was that call like?
Correct. We were the Jewish representatives on that call. He had many different religions. He spoke to Catholics, evangelicals, and ourselves. It was a very good call because what they were trying to show with this new National Faith Advisory Board is that the working together between faith groups to preserve religious liberty in America and the things the Trump administration did are not going to come to an end because he's no longer the president, but rather they're creating a board. It's staffed primarily by former members of the Faith and Opportunity Initiative of the White House.
Rabbi, I have a question for you, and I as soon as I found out that you were on that call on Thursday, I was hoping that we'd get you on so I could ask you this. As someone of the cloth and someone of faith, do you get the feeling that Donald Trump, the 45th president, is thinking pretty seriously about running again in 2024?
I would say, based on listening to the president and what he had to say on that call, it sounded to me like he's planning to run again. That's what it sounded like. He didn't say so, but he made some indications. He said something very compelling, which is that if he were still in the White House, he believes that there would be several more countries involved in the Abraham Accords, the peace initiative that brought the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco into full diplomatic relations with Israel.
All right, Rabbi Yaakov Menken, such a pleasure having you back on the show. I want to get this right. Shana Tova, which I think means Happy New Year,
well
right?
Done.
Okay.
Well done.
Excellent.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, my friend. We'll see you again soon. Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.